Hey Zoo family, welcome to today's video. It was raining out here this morning, but there's just enough sun for us to start working on our post-hurricane season activities, which is number one, making the fire pit usable again. The kids are out here with Mom and I and putting these chairs that are typically around our fire pit back by the fire pit. Things are like stacked like this here throughout hurricane season. We're really happy to have the fire pit back. These chairs require two of them to get onto and off of the porch. Look at this little girl. That doesn't, that stays on the porch, but thank you, good job. Because hurricane season can last, technically, I guess it lasts like what, 5 months in Florida? Or 6 months? I never even knew that. I've lived here my whole life. It goes to the end of November. And by the way, this is the most active November we ever remember having hurricane-wise. That means all of this stuff is on the porch for like 5 months. My in-laws lived with their hurricane fabric. Like they have these shutters that go on the windows up here, and they're made of fabric that can take the velocity of 2x4s and things flying through the air. They lived with it on their windows for many months. And it's kind of what you do in Florida sometimes. You prep for a hurricane and it stays that way the whole hurricane season. So we're really glad that some things are getting back to normal. It was a really active season. We had, unfortunately, a terrible hurricane called Milton. It was devastating over on the west coast of Florida. We have some friends who are over there. A friend of mine is pastoring a church over there, and they had damage to their church. A lot of people in their church and in their community had damage to their homes, really bad damage. And I know another pastor actually on the east coast of Florida whose home got flooded for the second time in their short time of living in that home. It's been a tough hurricane season. So we're really glad for it to be over. I think tomorrow's the 30th, right? Yep. Tomorrow, the hurricane season officially ends. And she's taking a third table out there that's not supposed to go out there. Those tables that she's taking out there are meant to stay on the porch. But she's 5 and she's being productive and helpful. In our 13 years of living in this home, we've never had a hurricane season where we lost this many shingles. These are actually corner shingles, and I had to go, for the first time living here, I had to go re-shingle, add some shingles back to the roof. Yeah. Thankfully, I had some spares in the attic, but I had to go back and tar up some new shingles. The most we've ever had come off our house is like one little piece like this or this, but we had all of this in our yard. We added it up just from that one hurricane from Milton.
You really don't know if it's your yard roof or other people's roof.
That is true. That is true. Yeah, because the same color roof next door. I mean, it could be theirs. I do know some of these came off ours because I saw the place where the damage was that I had to fix. And something we noticed this year, it's the first time we've ever noticed it. Typically, what has happened in my whole life, as far as back as I can remember, is that most hurricanes start on the coast of Africa and they work their way slowly across the Atlantic, and you have so much time to be aware of them and to prepare for them. Now we have these hurricanes that just pop up off the coast of the Yucatan Peninsula. They're starting they're already over Cuba. Right. And then you only have, 24 hours, 48 hours to prepare? They just come out of nowhere. That's why we say we have to prepare our home, put things in the garage, take them out of the yard. We have to sometimes take all of our outdoor furniture and everything and things off the play set. Swings, we had to take swings off the play set for months at a time. And put it on the garage and leave it there because these hurricanes lately have been popping up out of nowhere. And by the time you hear about it, it's already over you. It literally has been wild. Milton was so bad that we had to get the generator out. We were ready to be without power for days. And I lived through Charlie. Melanie lived through Hurricane Charlie. You were without power
a week.
I was without power for 2 weeks. I mean, 2.5 weeks of no power when you're not prepared.
Right.
Those 2 weeks can be life-threatening. And so we had to get out our gas generator and all of that this year and get it ready, which is, let me tell you.
That was such a pain in the butt. It really was. It took this man 10 hours, literally 10 hours to get that thing actually cranked and ready to go.
In fairness, I did not put it away properly. When I put it away to store it, I hadn't done a crucial step, which shall remain unnamed. And that caused some headache to me when I pulled it out and had to get it running again. But fortunately, there's a sponsor of today's video that is going to make our hurricane seasons much easier from now on. We want to tell you about it. Today's video is sponsored by the Anker Solix F3800 Portable Power Station. and it brings a lot of power that you can easily move around your home. As soon as you see it, you know that it's packed with features. There's charging ports right on the front. You immediately notice there's also a car socket here. Each USB-C port supplies up to 100 watts, and you also have 2 standard USB-A output ports. In an emergency, you want a power station that's going to supply power to anything you need power to. And the device icon at the bottom of the display lets you know that the Solix is connected either by Bluetooth or Wi-Fi, so you can use its app features even in an outage. On the left side, you have all of your input sources. This is where you charge your Solix, connect it to solar panels if you have those. You have an expansion port that lets you connect multiple Solix products to generate up to 53.8 kilowatt hours. You also have what's called a home power port that allows you to connect to Anker's Solix sub panel to power your entire home in an outage. And on the right side, you see your standard outputs. Some of these probably look familiar to you. It comes with an easy tow handle built in, so you can move it wherever you need it.
So we've already been messing with the generator here and testing to see what it can handle. And it turns out it can handle quite a lot of appliances in the kitchen, and not just in the kitchen, but everywhere in the house.
So it's really helpful for power outages for long term, whether you're talking summer or winter. It can handle what it is you need to keep running, right?
Absolutely, yep.
We've been using Anker power stations for years, but usually just the handheld ones. This guy is massive, it's very heavy, and it's a 6,000 watt. You've already probably heard the details by now, but 6,000 watts is what it can push, which means it can handle 1,600 from a grill. It can handle I think 900 is the draw, or about 1,000 is the draw on this. So we want to prove to you what it can handle all simultaneously. And what's cool about the app is when you plug these various things in, on the app and on the front display here, it tells you for your current draw, your current power draw, what you currently have plugged in, how many hours, or in some cases, days, it can run different things that you want to do. So, I mean, what I remember, like we told you, I was without power for a couple of weeks when I was a kid during a really bad hurricane called Charlie in 2004. You've heard me talk about Charlie, right?
Yep.
A ton. We tell lots of Charlie stories and Francis and Jean stories. 3 hurricanes all converged on Kissimmee, where is the name of the town where Mom and I lived at the time. We were teenagers, we didn't know each other yet. But it was wild, right? And when you're without power, you don't think about grilling burgers or having amenities or sometimes even having your refrigerator running. You think you're gonna lose power and stuff. So we wanna show you real quick what it can handle.
One thing I appreciate is that this model is so much lighter than our gas generator. It's comical trying to show, like, me being able to budge our gas generator is ridiculous. Not happening. This has wheels, and it's like you're pushing a little cart.
It's heavy.
It's wonderful.
It is heavy, but it's much lighter than a 4-stroke engine. Of course, you could also mention, you don't have to mix the gas. You don't have to empty the gas. When it's out of season, you don't have to empty the gas. They just
no gas cans. You don't have to take those to the gas station and fill them all up and bring them home, and then
whether you need them or not.
Right, and then this time I actually overflowed it and I broke one. So then I had to go to 2 different stores to try and find an additional gas can. So, like, no mess.
Yeah, storage is much easier too. They recommend if you're gonna store it, that you put a 100% charge on it every 3 months and then put it back in storage. So every 3 months, you just pull it out and let it top off the battery and leave it that way. And then when the hurricane season comes, or your winter outage, whatever your power outage is, wherever you live in America, you know what outages you're prone to. Or wherever you are in the reach of where Anker sells, you know what kind of power outages you're prone to and how often you need it. It's just really nice that you can always have power on hand. So we have plugged in some extension cables, and we're gonna go around to the different products we've set up here in the kitchen. So we've already started off plugging things in. We have the refrigerator plugged in. It says that it can run for almost 2 full days, just the refrigerator. That's amazing. And here in Florida, that means almost any hurricane, depending on how hard you're hit in your area, you can survive that's on 1 charge. You can see it says 1.9 days. I think the draw is probably like 800 to 900 watts. I showed you a screenshot already. You could see immediately, it shows you what your draw is, how many days it can run. You can actually specifically turn off these outlets on the side. You can get through the app, you can tell it which outlets you want on, so that, you know, if you have everything plugged in overnight, but you don't want to run your appliances overnight and you're upstairs, just turn it off in the app, and it's just amazing. We're gonna make some coffee here simultaneously. We'll see what that does to the draw. I would have never made, coffee during a hurricane, but you know, why
You
not?
don't sleep during
Why?
a hurricane, so you definitely need coffee
I
during a
know.
hurricane.
That's so true. And then we have a grill here set up. Grill some hot dogs or something. I mean, sometimes
Grilled cheese.
sometimes when you got a hurricane or some kind of power outage, you might be in the process of making dinner or something. And oh my gosh, how many times has the power gone out on us right when we're trying to make dinner and we think, well, I guess we're ordering pizza. It's really nice to be able to have a backup option. So here we got our trays in, our coffee's ready. And then this is an upper eye and a lower eye. Turned them on, turned them both on to full. It's gonna start heating these elements up. And this is a grill pulls this, I think pulls 1600 watts. We've never owned an Anchor product that could power an indoor grill before, which means, even though that's not what this video is about, we could take this puppy on picnics and bring an outdoor grill and make hot dogs at the picnic, which just blows my mind. That's so nice to have something like that. You can see the coffee's done. You can see, I can feel, but you can see this is heating up. And let's go see what we're drawing right now. Right now we're drawing 1800 watts, and we could go like this nonstop for 2 hours. That 2 days dropped to 2 hours because you're pulling a grill right now, right? What I would personally do if I were making food during some kind of major power outage is I would pull my food out of the refrigerator, unplug the refrigerator, plug this in only for the time I need it to cook my food, unplug this and plug that back in, and then plug the refrigerator back in, and that's gonna save the most wattage. So another thing is they make solar panels that plug into this that would make this something that could survive weeks during a power outage and continue to supply power to your different products. We are thinking of making that investment to get fully away from a gas-powered generator and all of that, because boy, you can only get so many gas cans of gas to power your gas generator and mess with all of that. Whereas if you have solar panels, as long as you get a clear sky, you're gonna have power for a long time. We're pretty sure we're gonna get 2 sets of panels actually to allow us to completely leave the world of gas-powered generators. It's gonna be really nice. I unplugged everything but the refrigerator and we're back to 1.9 days. So you can see this is gonna power your refrigerator and keep your food good for a couple of days without the solar panels, just on 100% charge on the F3800. As one more test, we have hooked up a multiple device charger to the F3800. We have 5 devices on here, 2 tablets and 3 phones here. Don't know the size of your family, but you can put that in perspective to your household. And let's see how it's doing. Okay, we're pulling 63 watts. It can last 1.1 days. Let's say it takes 1 hour to charge these devices at this rate. That means you can recharge these 5 devices 24 times. I mean, that is more than enough to, if you're only having 1 device in an emergency, let's say you want 1 or 2 devices available during an emergency, that means you're gonna be able to recharge them countless times. You're talking weeks. So we love the F3800. It's gonna be our go-to for emergencies. We know where we're gonna store it, how we're gonna keep it charged. We've read up on how to maintain it, which is always important no matter what you're buying, especially when it's something that's gonna help you during backups. You don't wanna wait till the power is out to start reading manuals. So if you buy an F3800, we recommend you read up on how to keep it ready to support you when power outages come, when catastrophe happens. That's when the F38 is going to be pivotal for your life. We want you to think about what is it you need in your emergency preparedness situations. For us here in Florida, like we've already said, when it comes to hurricanes, we got to keep the food good in the refrigerator and maybe have a few ways that we can charge some phones in order to receive information if we can get signal through cell towers, and then maybe some simple ways to prepare food on a grill like we have here. It can even power the crock pot and things like that. Simple ways that you can make soup and things to feed a whole family if you need to. So check out the F3800. There's a link down in the description. You can do some research. It's an amazing product. We really do think you should check it out and think about it as a solution for situations that you face that require a battery backup, and not just the simple handheld kind, but a big beefy one like this that's gonna really power a lot when you need it. The fire pit is ready again. Oh man, it's been so long since we've been able to use it. I mean, it's been a while since you've used it when you have grass growing in it. So we need to come out here and do a nice winter fire on one of these cool nights. We've been having some cold nights lately.
Yeah,
It's
really
freezing
cold.
outside.
Not right now.
Not right now.
It feels
So
comfy
roomy.
outside, actually.
So when we cut the logs, this is the stuff.
Oh,
That's the shavings from
yeah,
when
the
we
shaving
when
because
when I use my chainsaw.
Yeah,
That stuff's really good kindling. If you've never used it, if you have a chainsaw and you have to cut up some wood, all of that dust that it creates, the particles,
sawdust.
it's really good. Well, it's not quite sawdust. It's shavings, saw shavings. It makes really good kindling for the top of your self-starting fire. Mel bought me a chainsaw a few weeks ago, and I got to use it once and shave and cut up a bunch of wood. So for the first time ever, we have too much wood, and we need to get rid of it and do a big bonfire. So what do you say, kids? Sometime soon? You were gonna wait. Oh, you know what? Next week there's a night. We have a cold front. It's gonna be 40 degrees overnight, kids. That's the night we're gonna come out here and do a bonfire. It's probably gonna be so cold that we don't even feel the heat of the fire. Hot chocolate?
Yeah.
You want hot chocolate? Okay, we'll do that. And speaking of that, we also need to do a shopping video for Secret Santa. You probably thought that was going to be today. It should be our next video. We have part 1 of our Secret Santa shopping. We know that you all are interested to know who has who. Everyone still know who they have?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
We want to keep it that way, so we need them to shop as soon as possible. So we got to do some Secret Santa shopping this weekend. We have to buy some hot cocoa, right, Daisy? For the fire, we got to do all of that, and we hope that you'll watch our next video. It should be a shopping video, like we said. We love you, Zoo Family, and we'll see you then.
Bye.